Some of them get 16 inches. This sucker gets to 22 inches. That's a max recorded size. Probably not realistic in my exact fish tank, but this is a monster of a fish. Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Aquatics, and today we're going to do a big shake-up, add a new fish to the 210-gallon monster aquarium. Now, if you're new here, the rundown on this is I've got an awesome mix of aggressive South American cichlids that are getting pretty big, but I've also got a 15-inch arowana in here and a bunch of different bichir species, and it's one of my favorite aquariums, but I think it's time to thin out some of these cichlids where I'm running into some aggression problems and I just have too many big fish in here. And I've got other options to move several of these fish into other aquariums. So I want to do that. And another reason I want to do it is I'm adding another big monster fish that I've always wanted. And that just pushes that aggression problem out further. So we're going to thin the herd, rearrange a little bit, put the new guy in. And I hate to be rushed like this, but I bought the fish and he's in a bag right now. I don't want to leave him floating in that bag for hours. I want to get this done, get him into the water to kind of keep the stress down. And I thought if I'm already throwing off the hierarchy by adding another fish, this might be good timing to make that other change at the same time, rather than introduce a fish today, have them try to sort out the hierarchy, and then, you know, change fish out tomorrow or next week. So I'm going to try to do it all at once. Should be a interesting project, and I really hope this works because I love this fish, and hypothetically he could be a mix with the other fish I have. But with aggressive fish, you always run a risk of creating problems. So before I do anything, I like to feed the fish. It seems like it calms them down and lowers aggression. Just a second ago, the bichirs were out here. I'm sure you'll see them when I feed. We're using Hikari medium-sized sinking pellets. Let's aim over here. I have to overfeed this tank, so I try to feed it a little bit less frequently, but if I don't overfeed, the bottom feeders will never eat with this mix of fish. So I hit this side really heavy, and all the big aggressive fish come over here. Then I put a little bit on the other side while these guys are distracted, and the bichirs usually eat on the other side. Now I actually think what I'm going to do right now is start draining down the tank. That'll make it easier to catch the fish. And a good water change is always beneficial. There's another fish I forgot to mention, is a green Texas that's hanging out in here. That Oscar has overstuffed his cheeks so much he can't even close his mouth. It's funny what pigs they are, but it makes it harder to maintain the aquarium because I have to overfeed, and it's hard to overfeed an Oscar, and they make a mess out of the food when you feed them. There is the Ansorgi bichir. He's the second largest bichir that I have. The Inlasheri is the big guy, and he's over here. That guy's about a foot long and fat. All right, so before we start moving fish, I want to show you what the stocking is on this aquarium. Got the flower horn, a Salvini, a Carpentus Texas cichlid. Here's a Midas. He's probably the tank boss. Firemouth, Jack Dempsey, Monte Cristo. Two different Severums. The Severums are coming out. The Monte Cristo might come out. We've got two Oscars. This one's a little beat up. That's not hole in the head. That's from aggression. Here's our other Severum. We've got this Vieja. We've got the Arowana, obviously. There's also a chocolate cichlid in here. I guess he's hiding. Where's the... Okay, there's the chocolate. He's not colored up right now, but these are awesome. They changed to some radical colors. Then I've got this Threadfinicara Herichthes. That's going to probably move into the other aquarium. And back there you see one Senegalus bichir. Here we've got the Ornate, another Senegalus. I've got 4 big rope fish in here. We've got the Jaguar. We've got this African clawed frog. Then we have 3 more bichirs that I'm not seeing. 4 more bichirs. There's a little albino. The other guys are hiding back here. But I have 3 more. An Ansorgi, a Weeksy, and an endless sherry. And I'm sure throughout the video you'll see those other bichers. Now, the tank they're going to. This is my least favorite aquarium because I haven't done a true aquascape on it. I've got a piece of driftwood floating in here. I've got some fish that I really like. These are Ultim Angels, or they were sold to me as Ultim Angels. I'm not sure if they're actually Ultims or not. Then I've got several different species of Geophagus, a bunch of Tetras, some rams, Bolivian rams, regular rams, electric blue rams. We've got a Brochardi cichlid, and just some community fish. This is the first aquarium, 125 gallons, that went in this fish room, and it's my least favorite. And it's the only aquarium I have that the plants aren't doing well in, and it's because I didn't add a nutrient layer under the substrate. So I'm going to move those fish in here because they can coexist with the angels and the Geophagus, but also because those are plant eaters, and if I'm going to lose my aquarium plants in any of my aquariums, I'd rather it be in this tank where the plants aren't doing as well. I do have this lily that's put off those long runners. Got floating leaves on that. Tank number 3 we're going to be working with today has these bass in it. These bass have been in here about a week. They came out of my farm pond. I don't like keeping them in here. At some point I want to do a natural cold water species aquarium, but it needs to be something bigger than this. So these guys are going back in the farm pond, and this 125 gallon is going to get an aquascape, and it's going to be a African cichlid tank. But it's got a bluegill down here too. It's also going to house a few fish out of the 210 gallon. So first thing I want to do is feed these fish. Then I want to start swapping them out as quick as I can so I can get the new fish out of the bag that's floating right there. Into making aquarium videos, I also watch a lot of aquarium videos, and I enjoy watching people catch fish and move fish. But with the way my aquariums are, and the way I have to access this, there's no way that I can film it where you're going to see anything but my back. And it's going to be a mess of a process, and I don't want the camera in the way. So I'm going to move these fish around and then show you the results. So I mentioned earlier that I hate moving fish from one aquarium to another. I think it's really hard on the fish. It can cause them stress and disease. You can have a happy, healthy aquarium that's going fine, and then all that's ruined. But sometimes when you're mixing a lot of aggressive fish of different sizes and temperaments, even if you think you have a plan, you may run into a situation where you need to do some changes. And catching the fish out of this was 10 times worse than I thought it was going to be. It took me hours. And these fish did not want to be caught. And these are sectioned lids, but like this section has no opening. So I can reach in here, but I can't move across to follow the fish. So I have to come out and reach in here, and I can't reach the bottom, and I can't reach the back. It was miserable. And the fish didn't like it either. But you can see it's been like 2 hours after the fact, and now they're already following my finger ready to eat. So I'm going to put some food in here, then I'm going to show you the new fish, which is pretty awesome. And I've been worried about him because he'll be the second smallest fish in here. But it's a fish that gets to 16 inches, and they are feisty, and they can hold their own when they get bigger. So let's get some food in there, and then I'll show you the new guy. I normally only feed this tank once a day, but we're going to feed them twice today, and they would eat 10 times a day. They're always wanting food. I'm going to feed them twice today, hoping that the new fish will come out and eat. So my concern with taking fish out of this tank was that changing the stocking would increase aggression, and I think this Midas might be more aggressive. The only thing that kept him from going crazy was there was too many fish to fend off at once. Now, even if you're the biggest bully, you can't chase off 15 fish. The new guy is over here in the corner, and we've got kind of a bichir pile down here. All the Polypterus are just hanging out here in this corner. And I put some food in here for them, and they've eaten all that. But here is the new guy. This is a Datnoid. It's a Tiger Dat. And he's kind of hiding over here. He was active earlier, the first hour he was in here. Now he's hiding because he's probably realized that, like that arowana that just darted off, Could have him for a snack if he got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. I've kept Datnoid before. This one, to me, the pattern on him is just striking. He looks awesome. I think this is an awesome fish, and it's not a slow grower. And I think maybe he can hold his own in here. I'm a little worried about him, but we'll find out. Okay, he started to come down and swim around a little bit. The Midas is hogging up the camera. At that Datnoid, I was wrong about him. There are Datnoids, and then there are Datnoids. Some of them get 16 inches. This sucker gets to 22 inches. That's a max recorded size. Probably not realistic in my exact fish tank, but this is a monster of a fish. As far as this tank, in here with the angels and the geophagus, we added the threadfin acara, the chocolate cichlid, and there's the green severum, there's the gold spot severum. So that is this 125 gallon. Now, as part of rearranging this tank and the other 125 over here, I had to redo this 125 also. But I spent a lot of time on it and decided to make its own video about what I did with half of these cichlids in this 125 gallon. But for now, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.